Well, good morning, and I'm so glad to be here for another installation of the discussion with the Miami-Dade Economic Advocacy Trust around prosperity and what we're doing for our community. And today we've got two, if you will, of our great agents of change. As you know, the biggest issue in the country, not just in South Florida, not just in Miami, but the entire country of the United States is housing. There are so many issues around housing that every day that take us in different directions, and trying to make sure that people can live, work, and play, and then provide the services that they want. So today we're going to talk about housing. We're going to talk about our down payment assistance program. We're going to talk about our rehabilitation program. And these two things are key to us. So we've got, if you will, our subject matter experts, and I'm going to introduce them now. We're going to start with Ms. Marquis Warren, who runs our housing assistance program. Marquis, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Diggs.
How are you today?
I'm doing well.
I've been telling Marquis since she came to work for me to stop calling me Mr. Diggs and call me Bill, and she won't. I think it's this gray hair that I got on my head. So the scary thing about it was I'm trying to get her used to calling me Bill, but I'm getting her used to her calling me Mr. Diggs. Marquis, tell us about yourself. Tell us what you do as a down payment assistance coordinator and what you do in your position.
So I am the Outreach and Training Specialist. So I am promoting our homeownership assistance program. Our down payment assistance program, we're actually offering eligible borrowers up to $28,500. It is a zero interest, no payment loan, eligible to be forgiven after 20 years.
Wow.
As long as the borrower does not refinance or transfer ownership. It is based on the household size as well as the income. So the income cannot exceed the 140% adjusted median income established for Miami-Dade County.
It's interesting because well, you know what? I'm going to get back to you on that because I've got a lot of questions around this adjusted median income, around, how many people you've got to have in your home. And then also too, while I'm talking to Marquis, I want you to think about how best to explain that program to someone who just needs to buy a home for them and their children. So get ready for that, okay? So next I got up Mr. Marquis Best.
How you doing, sir?
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Diggs.
So the RAP program, talk to me about your job and what you do, Marquis.
Well, my name is Marquis Best. I'm the Construction Development Specialist for the Miami-Dade Economic Advocacy Trust, where we have a rehabilitation program, where the rehabilitation program, we give up to $50,000, zero interest, zero deferred, to fix your house up, bring your house up to code. Zero interest, zero deferred. It is a 15-year forgivable loan.
Wow.
The only way you would have to give us our funds back is if you sell or refinance the home within the 15 years. Anything after the 15 years, it'll be forgiven. We do everything from roofing to windows to doors, anything to bring your house up to code and make your house into a home.
Gotcha. So Marquis, you've been with us now for how long?
Going on 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
How about you, Marquis?
About 6 months now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think what's neat is that both of these programs, we kind of recreated our down payment assistance program. So this $28,500 as a down payment has only been in existence now for about a year or so.
Yes,
right?
that's correct.
Okay, and it was $14,500 before that.
Correct.
So from your perspective, Markeisha, tell us why it increased, and then talk to us about this home ownership thing.
Well, the subsidy amount increased due to the increase in home prices.
Yeah, because they've gone through the roof, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, they really have. And that's funny because, listen, houses what is the median income? What's the median cost of a house? What are we talking about?
We're talking at least in Miami-Dade County, $500,000 average.
Wow. And so as much as our down payment assistance program can give you $28,500, that's for what we consider to be an affordable home. So what's the house need to cost for us to be able to kind of give you the financing?
Well, the really good thing about our program is that we offer layering. So you can use our down payment assistance with other down payment assistance programs and receive over $100,000 in down payment assistance. Okay.
Okay, over 100,000.
Yes.
All right. So, and I'm not gonna be wrong. I'm asking these questions. I mean, I know this program, right? Because this is what I do. But I think that for our community and the people that we're trying to outreach and reach out to, that you're reaching out to, define that for me when you say layering. I mean, who in the world's got the other $71,000 in change or so? Who are those people and where are they at?
Well, Miami-Dade County has 3 agencies that offer down payment assistance program, public housing and community development. They can also receive subsidy from Miami-Dade County Federal Credit Union. They're offering up to $50,000 in down payment assistance.
How about that? So, okay, so you find a house, you find a realtor.
Yes.
And you find a mortgage broker.
Yes.
Right? And you say that this house is $500,000. Ordinarily, between 5 and 10% down, you need either $25,000 or $50,000 down. Now, that's not closing costs, right?
Correct.
That's down payment.
Well, our funds can actually be used towards closing costs as well.
Oh, really?
Down payment and or closing costs.
How about that?
Wow. Yes.
How about that? Okay, so walk me through the process. What happens then? How do you make this happen for yourself?
Okay, so I recommend that home buyers start by taking a home buyers education course. They're going to learn about financial literacy, just homeownership responsibilities, how to shop for a home inspection. So once they take that home buyers education workshop, then I recommend that they connect with a lender. A lender is going to give them, pre-approve them and let them know their buying power. Right. So that when they connect with a realtor, they know exactly how much house they can actually afford.
Yeah. So let's get down to the truth of the matter. I mean, because listen, the Miami-Dade Economic Advocacy Trust is a go-to organization for economic development in the Black community. Our program in the past has not done a stellar job of helping Black folk buy homes. What are we doing now that is increasing those numbers, right? Because we do want to make sure that the urban core, I mean, gentrification is the order of the day. Everything's changing. People are coming in the areas, gentrifying them, and so consequently, they're pushing out some of the homeowners. Talk to me about what we do to try to make sure that the people of color in Miami have this information. What are we doing?
I'm out in the community promoting our program and resources. I'm letting them know that there are options as far as down payment assistance. They can combine the down payment assistance and get over $100,000 in down payment assistance.
Right. So what do they find out? Do they say, okay, do they come to us first? Do they go to realtor first? Does a realtor help them with the broker? How does that work?
Well, first, I recommend that they take the home buyers education course.
And where can they find that information out at?
I can provide that information. It's also listed on our website.
Okay.
On our Miami-Dade Economic Advocacy Trust website.
Okay, Miami-Dade.gov.
There's a list of approved HUD counseling agencies, that they can take the home buyers education course.
Okay, so these HUD agencies, they're certified through the Department of Housing and Urban Development, federal agency, right? Okay, so how long is that course?
It's a 8-hour course.
Okay.
For one day.
Oh, wow. Okay. So they, in other words, one day out of their life can get them $100,000.
Yes.
How about that?
Right. And the certificate is good for 1 year.
Oh, okay.
It's valid for 1 year.
One of the biggest issues has been, because this really is a seller's market, right?
Yes.
I mean, one of the biggest challenges we've had is that our process takes long. Explain to me what the value is for the realtor and the mortgage broker. I mean, why would they, want to utilize our service, and then how does the buyer insist upon that being the case?
Well, it is essential because in the end, it will help benefit the borrower, because if they're receiving our down payment assistance, then essentially it's going to lower perhaps their payment.
There you go.
They're only, let's say a home is $500,000 and they're receiving $100,000 in down payment assistance. Well, essentially they're only financing $400,000.
Now we talking.
So it's
Yeah.
beneficial to use our program.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the key, right? I mean, because sometimes, listen, even though our process, and don't get me wrong, I think that you're doing a good job, we're doing a good job of trying to reduce the amount of time it takes to go through that lending process. To get $100,000, I wait, right?
Yes, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth the wait. Okay, all right, so we're going to come back to you, Marquisha. Thank you for that. The other thing that we created, Marquis, was we've got a lot of homes in the urban core that are not up to code. And there's this whole thing about tell Ms. Johnson don't sell her house, right? Because this really does come down to voting power. I mean, it comes down to making sure that our communities stay communities that are relative to the children that are in them, so we can make sure that we have better services and by having improved homes and improves the wealth of the neighborhood, and by having improved wealth of the neighborhood, more money in your pocket, your equity in your house climbs. Give me an idea about what the RAP program is all about.
Well, first and foremost, the RAP program is, I feel like, the best program Miami-Dade County has. It's single-handedly...
Marquisha might argue with you about that, but
maybe, but I just feel like it's single-handedly stopping gentrification.
Okay.
Like you said prior, Ms. Johnson has no choice but to sell her home because she's retired, she's living off a fixed income, the roof is deteriorating, and somebody offered her $300,000.
Right.
So she has no choice.
Yeah.
But we can come in and we can fix your roof, we can fix your windows, we can make your homeowner's insurance go down lower because, as you know, in the state,
that's interesting.
Right, because as you know, within Miami, if you don't have hurricane impact doors or windows, your homeowner's insurance goes up.
Right.
We're bringing all that down, and you don't have to move no more.
Right.
You can stay in your house.
Yeah.
And you're making your house into a home, and you loving your home.
Right.
It saddens me when some of these people sell their homes because they have no choice, and it was generation for generation, and it gets to them, and now they out of luck.
Right.
I feel like this program here is one of the best. Like I say, only if you stay in your home, you don't have to sell or refinance it for 15 years.
Right.
You get a brand new home, and plus it brings more equity within your home, and it's home ownership.
That's the interesting thing that I have found out. Right. After being a homeowner, you realize that when you do improvements, it increases the value of your home.
Yeah.
Right. And we all know, and I think it's important for us to say it, that the best way to build wealth is to own your own home.
Yeah.
That's the starting of it, right? Okay, so talk to me about the process, Marquis. How do I get engaged in this, and then what happens?
Well, first and foremost, you can receive the application via email through me or go to our website. And once you receive the application and you receive the checklist have documentations that you will have to offer towards me, so we can make sure that you meet the standards of the program.
Sure.
Just like on Marquisha program, we do go up to 140% AMI. It is based off of income. So once we have all the paperwork, we make sure that you meet the requirements. I will come out to do an inspection first, just to make sure that your house needs the rehabilitation.
Right.
We have some people that want this program because they want to turn a 3-bedroom house into a 4-bedroom house.
Yeah. And that's not what we do.
And I don't blame them for trying.
Right.
So we come out there, make sure that everything is up to rehabilitation. Then once we do all that, I will come out there with general contractors. The general contractors will give me invoices. I will share them with you all, with the applicant, so the applicant can look at the invoices to see if this is what she wants to do, if they want to do. And we bring up to 3 general contractors. We never want to force one general contractor. We want you to feel comfortable to...
but that's just the county procurement process.
Yeah.
I mean, we go through it correctly.
Right.
Okay, so now, we've started this work, right? We've got, how does the money get applied? Talk to me about the process and from that perspective, because from what I know, the money doesn't come to you, it comes to the title company. So explain that.
Okay, so the money goes to the title company. The title company is kind of like the bank. They hold the money to give to the general contractor.
Okay.
So the applicants would never receive the money.
Right.
I would never receive the money.
Right.
The title company holds the money. Right. Reason being because the title company will oversee the general contractor, making sure the general contractor is going through the right application, the right steps, whether it's notice of commencements, getting the permits.
Right.
We don't want to pay a contractor and he's not doing the right things and having the right paperwork.
So he's paid over the period of him doing the installation of the work,
and
right?
Yes, and they get paid three draws.
Okay.
3 draws, 50%, 40%, and 10%.
Okay.
So the 50% is up front to make sure they have to get the materials, the storage, whatever they have to do.
Right.
Then they start their work. After they do the first draw, we have to receive the paperwork, notice of commencements. We have to see that the permits, because we don't want to do no work without getting the permits. And they go through the title company. The title company oversees everything. Once the title company looks and do the lien search and make sure everything is in there, then we can do the second draw. After we do the second draw, when everything is complete, the last 10% is the last draw.
Yeah. You know, I know in the past, we've had some folks that have come to us and want to use this program. They got liens on the property. They have encumbrances and they have things that we can't do the work if they've got these. Tell me about what are some of the things that you've seen that have kind of stopped folk from being able to utilize this program.
Well, one thing that stops a lot is your name on the house. Some people think just because my mother owned this house that the house belongs to me when she passed. It doesn't work like that. I tell everybody to put your name on the deed, have a will, have something on paper saying that if God forbid something happened to me, it goes on to somebody else. A lot of family members don't do that. They think just because this is my mother's home and she passed, it's my home.
In other words, they didn't go through the probate process. They didn't go through the
probate process.
And Marquisha's not in their head. That happens a lot, huh?
Yeah, they just feel like, hey, this is my daddy's house. My daddy passed away, now it's my house. But on paper, it's not. It still under your father's name.
Right.
That's the first and foremost. And another thing that stops is not paying your taxes. Bad taxes. You paid 2023 taxes, but you didn't pay 2022, 2021.
Right.
So that can stop you. And also water bills.
What do you mean water bill?
Because like I said, me working this program, we got liens, and some people be having old water.
Wow.
And actually the water company put the lien on the house.
Oh, gotcha.
So if you haven't paid your water bill, get paid in 3 months. You're like, oh, I'll pay it next time. You want to use our program? No, it's going to say.
So when we do those searches, we find that kind of stuff.
We find everything,
and then that stops the process.
That stops the process because we don't want to fix a home that could be taken away from you.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because from a long-term perspective, you've got $50,000 that's out there that you can apply for, and $1,000 to $2,000 can stop you from getting the money.
Yeah.
Right. Markeisha, we spoke earlier about down payment assistance and other programs and stacking the money, right? I want to understand, you mentioned earlier that this money is forgivable. Tell me how that is.
Yes, it is forgivable. Our down payment assistance program is forgivable after 20 years as long as the borrower does not refinance or transfer ownership.
Okay. All right. So talk to me about transferring ownership. Let's say, for instance, that if I'm in the house and on the original loan is Bill Diggs, but Bill's got a wife, right? And her name is not on the loan. If I refinance to put her name on the loan, I then have to give you the money back?
Yes. If you refinance, you would have to pay the money back.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, so the idea is that I need to stay in this home for this 20-year period.
For 20 years. Correct.
Okay. And then once that's up, I don't owe you anything else.
Correct. You are eligible to have the loan forgiven.
Okay. Okay. So where are we in regards to our neighborhoods and Black folk applying for these things? What are we doing to try to increase those numbers? I mean, you talk about being in the community, but tell me when you're in the community, what does that look like? What's your day look like, kind of, sort of?
Well, my day consists of promoting basically our homeownership assistance program, whether that be workshops, speaking engagements, appearances.
Okay. All right. So the workshops that you do,
Yes.
are you doing them in conjunction with other programs? And
Yes.
okay. All right. Give me an example of one of those.
Just recently, I participated in a workshop in Miami Gardens and public housing and community development. They were also there promoting their program as well.
Okay. All right. So when you guys are doing this, I mean, the paperwork that you pass out, it's not for specific, it's for these HUD certified training programs that you're going through or that you want for people to sign up for, or?
It includes the HUD workshops as well as income guidelines.
Yeah, no, okay, so now that's interesting. That's what I was trying to get to. So we mentioned earlier about the how much money you have to make to qualify. And you said it's a sliding scale, the number of children in the house, the number of parents in the house.
Yes, it is.
Give me an idea in regards to what that looks like.
Well, for a household, let's say of one person, they can't make more than $101,000.
So if I'm a teacher,
yes,
and I'm making $70,000,
then you are eligible for the program.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
See, you know what? That's almost a misnomer, right? And because a lot of people think that this program is for people that can't afford it. But this seems to be a program that takes a working young professional, gives them an opportunity to apply and be approved. Now, now mind you, we don't judge the person in the first position as getting the loan, right? I mean, the lending institution. So the bottom line is you have to qualify from a credit perspective for the first loan to start with.
Correct.
Right? So this 8-hour class that we have, that we recommend people go through, do they talk about that type of stuff?
Yes, they do talk about homeownership responsibilities, financial literacy, how to shop for a home inspection.
Right. Okay. All right. So young teacher, just moved to Miami, making $80,000 a year, wants to buy a home. They can qualify and they can get the full $28,500.
Well, it depends on their salary, their income.
Okay. All right. So, but the other dollars that we talked about, the stackable dollars, as you all put it, right? That come from those other programs, they're still eligible for those also.
Yes.
Does Miami Gardens have a program like that?
Yes, they do.
And so how much money are they giving out?
I'm not sure how much Miami Gardens is giving out.
Okay. All right. And
but
so,
I do know they have a program.
Right. And then PECD has, Public Housing Community Development.
Yes, they have a program where they are offering eligible bars $80,000 and then another loan for $35,000.
Wow.
So bars wouldn't apply, prospective bars wouldn't apply directly to our program. Their lender will submit the application on their behalf to us.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So these lenders, and we work with them. Do we have a list of these lenders? How does that work?
Yes, we do have a list, and that is provided upon request.
Right. So there's this thing called the Housing Counseling Agency.
Yes.
Right. So tell me what those are.
The housing counseling agencies provide resources. It kind of helps the borrower in their journey of home ownership.
Okay.
Getting their credit together, letting them kind of going over their finances, letting them know if they're actually ready to purchase a home.
Right. Because one thing I know for sure, right, with the new laws, anybody can come to us and ask for this money, but we want to try to encourage folk within the urban core to learn what it takes to own a home. And that's why we want to recommend that you go through this 8-hour program.
Correct.
Right? Because the goal is not to say that anybody can buy a home, because anybody can. But for those that can, doesn't mean you can afford the home you're buying.
Right. And it's the program, it's going to actually let them know if they are, in fact, ready to purchase a home.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to review their documentation, their credit.
Okay. Good. So I think that's the rub, right? I think that many of us, we don't know. And these housing counseling agencies and these HUD certified programs that we've got, and Marquisha one in our office, and all of our realtors, the idea is that we work as a partner, and we help you to build the right kind of opportunity for you to buy the home that you can most afford and be successful in.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. See, I think that's important, because there's two things we need to do. We need to make sure that, that we're stressing the importance of home ownership. Mm-hmm. And then, there's been this large, vast difference of folk that want to sell Miss Johnson's house. Mm-hmm. Everybody around her does.
Everybody.
But now we've got a rehabilitation program that gives you up to $50,000 to, and I think the word that I heard you use earlier, Marquis, and this is important, you said to bring the house up to code. Yeah. Why do you say that?
Because it's a difference between rehabilitation and cosmetics.
Okay.
We want to bring your house up to code to make your house up to suitable living. If we can do some things to make it weatherization in a sense, we can do that, but we just want to fix it or bring it to code. So if you need a new driveway or you just want your house painted, that's not bringing your house up to code. That's more cosmetics. We want to do the things to make you want to stay in your house 20 more years.
Right. And also to reduce your homeowner's insurance, right?
Reduce your homeowner's insurance, whether it's water pipes, because a lot of these homes now in Miami was built in the 1970s and it's been 50 years. So now those pipes are getting rusted.
Yeah.
And now that's a $30,000 job.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I learned, and this is from, living one of these older homes, it's more than a notion when you got to take, when you need the new power, right? And you got to plug a computer in somewhere and the lights start to flicker and you realize that, you need to go from fuses to circuit breakers. There are a lot of houses that still have fuses. Right. So do we do that kind of work?
We do all that type of work. Bring your house up to code, whatever that's going to take the 4-point inspections, whether it's roofing, plumbing, things of that nature, just to bring the main source up.
So when we come out to see a person's home, we do that early assessment.
We do the early assessments. The two things that I get the most is roofing and plumbing.
Yeah.
Roofing and plumbing. Roofing because they got the roof back done in 2000, or plumbing, the house was built in 1970 and now we're in 2024.
Yeah.
And they didn't know about it.
Right.
So that's a very, very expensive job.
We've done some wonderful things with painting too. There's some pictures that are up to talk about our roof and some of the different work that we've done, right?
Yeah.
And I really like that, because at the end of the day, you want to be in a home that's livable.
Right.
And with some of these elderly folk that own these homes, they now have a castle where before it was that way, but over time the house is aged. Mm-hmm. So bringing the house up to code is a key indicator for us in regards to us working with it.
It's the main thing. It's the key indicator. Yeah. Whether we have somebody's house that needs to bring up to code and somebody's house that just need a new paint.
Yeah.
I mean, you can stay in your house that just need a new outside paint.
Sure.
But the person that needs to bring this house up to code because those pipes busted down there, how long are they going to stay in this house before they call that person, that pink slip, that want to sell that house for $300,000?
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's what drives me crazy, and I understand people, because the bottom line is that sometimes folk need money, but I always say this, in Miami, Florida, where are you going to go?
Right. If I sell my home, where am I going to go?
Yeah, right. I mean, because it costs so much money to live in Miami, and and it's hard. But I think, listen, guys, I've enjoyed this conversation. I think that I've learned a lot, and I'm hoping that our listeners have too, because at the end of the day, we consider ourselves to be the go-to organization for economic development. Right. The key to creating wealth for you and your family is longevity, and the key to that is it starts with home ownership.
Correct.
So I would say to anybody, go to Miami-Dade.gov, and search, Economic Advocacy Trust, and you'll find out more about both of our programs. Mm-hmm. I will say this, that from a long-term perspective, we're in this for the long run. We are every day increasing our ability to be able to help the African American and the Black homeowner. While these programs are agnostic, they're for anybody, our focus as our agency is trying to make sure that in the urban core, we do the level best that we can. So Jazz in the Gardens is coming up.
Yes.
We're going to be creating a housing hub out there. So we'll be out there meeting with the thousands of people that can learn more about our programs. But every day on Instagram, on our website, and on Facebook and other places, you can find out more about our organization. Marquis, the twins. We appreciate you guys coming here today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you.